Do you want big arms to help fill out that singlet, but you're afraid of wrecking your shoulders and your elbows for tennis? Most players think that aesthetics and performance can't go hand in hand. Well, I'm here to tell you today that that is complete bullshit. I'm gonna give you my 3 simple tips to help you build bigger arms that look good and also build stronger and more resilient shoulders and elbows so that you can play harder for longer. Now, in case you've got that TikTok brain and you don't make it to the end of the video, I'm just gonna let you know now that I've built out a free finisher that you can plug into the end of your current training program. It implements everything that I talk about in this video. It'll take you about 10 to 15 minutes to complete across 3 days of the week. The link is in the description for that one. It is totally free, so make sure you jump down there and get on that one. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna train your arms in different positions and directions. Doing bicep curls isn't inherently dangerous, just like lifting with a rounded back isn't inherently dangerous. I don't think there are really any inherently dangerous, must be avoided at all costs movements. The real risk factor for injury is load management. It's where the training stress exceeds the capacity of the tissue and what it can handle. Doing bicep curls doesn't cause wear and tear on the elbows or the shoulders. Wear and tear is such a fucking shitty term. Humans aren't machines that degrade. We actually adapt to stress and we get stronger. I much prefer the term wear and repair. The problem arises when the stress is too much or too frequent for the tissues to then repair and actually get stronger and more adaptable. Now, load management is a little bit more complex than just simply the amount of work done or weight lifted, but we'll unpack that another time. What I'm trying to get at is load management for the elbows and shoulders becomes really, really hard when all you're doing is your curls with your arms stapled to your side. And if we're repetitively using that sort of pattern and position across many different exercises, then over time, the rate of accumulation of stress is going to be greater than the rate that the tissue can adapt and remodel and get stronger. The result then is tissue damage and injury. So what we can do to make sure that we can train our biceps and get them bigger and stronger without sort of stressing the tissues in the same position all the time is to get really creative and play around with different positions that we can train the biceps without overloading the same position. I absolutely love playing with these high reaches. I whack my hand under the elbow and use it as a bit of an anchor just to help me load the tissue a bit better. And these squat curls are fantastic too. Anything that just gets my arms away from my body, I really love for that. It just opens up some mobility as well. They may not be the most optimal movements from a bodybuilding standpoint, but that's okay. We're trying to open up our movement options and make sure our shoulders and elbows can move freely and be strong in different positions. My second tip is to make sure you're training at different velocities. Another really frustrating misconception for me is this belief that being big and strong is going to make you slow and stiff. This one's really frustrating just for the fact that physiologically that actually just makes no fucking sense. A bigger muscle means greater force generating capacity. Now, if we don't train it to produce force quickly, that's when problems are going to arise with your velocity and whatnot. So make sure you're always including exercises in your programs that allow you to produce force quickly and work on that rate of force development, again, in different positions and patterns. I love these overhead med ball wall taps. Any medicine ball slam is great. I like adding a bit of rotation with that as well. And I love these push-up drop catches. Again, we want to work on our brakes and force absorption. It's just as important as being able to produce force. Third and finally, nutrition. Make sure you're eating in a small caloric surplus. Under-eating is one of the biggest, I'd go as far to say the biggest reason that athletes stay stuck in both their performance and their aesthetics. If you're a highly trained, high-performing athlete that's working on their craft pretty much daily, I'd hope your nutritional intake is supporting this anyway, but regardless, you cannot grow without fuel. Now, I understand with this advice, people get concerned about gaining too much weight and becoming slow and sluggish, which I completely empathize with. That's where I think tracking your body weight can be a really useful metric. If on average, week by week, we're gaining about 0.25 to 1% body weight per week, that's generally enough to help support muscle growth, but also keep fat gain at a minimum. Now, make sure you're consuming enough protein to drive muscle growth, about 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight. So if you weighed 70 kilos off the top of my head, that'd be about 112 to, let's say, 150 grams of protein. Let me do some quick maths. Yeah, 112 to 154 grams of protein. Ideally spread that across 3 to 4 meals, and you'd want some leucine in there as well. That's like the key to start the car for muscle protein synthesis. But carbs, they're gonna be your main fuel source. That's gonna help support your training and your performance as well, and just your general energy levels at an absolute minimum 3 grams per kilo of body weight. Now, if you have more questions with your nutrition, in the program that I discussed in the beginning, there's actually a free nutrition guide in there as well. Again, the link is in the description. It includes 3 sessions a week. They'll take about 10 to 15 minutes each to complete, and you can just whack them on the end of your current training. Follow the nutrition guide in there as well to support your energy and muscle growth. And if you have any more nuanced questions, please whack them in the comments and I will cover them.